Welcome back, it's Antman2050 and we're playing Dynasty Warriors 9. To tell you the truth, it's been a little while, but I've learned a lot about this game since those times. One of the biggest things that I've found is that you have to kind of relearn how you play Dynasty Warriors for Dynasty Warriors 9, because it doesn't play the way that a traditional Dynasty Warriors plays. Along with that, there's been actually quite a few updates, and so before long, we're going to kind of introduce some of those. But I realize it's been too terribly long in between games, and that is it's pretty sad. So I'm sorry I've kept you guys waiting so long. I know that experiencing the rest of Sun Jian's epic tales of great import. If nothing else, the game is still pretty fun. It's just, it definitely has its flaws. And I'll be talking more about that soon. I'm planning to do a full review with my take on the year one, or the year after, I guess, DLC stuff. Or not DLC stuff, but just updates and upgrades that they've done. Because they actually have put a lot of work into the game to kind of make it better in the year that it's been out. But I guess the question always remains, right? Should a game be looked at how it's become better a year after its launch? Or should it always be looked at the quality it was when it launched? Because I don't think anybody will tell you that Dynasty 9 did not have problems at its launch. And a lot of the fixes that they've made, although good, I don't know if they are good enough to really change a lot of people's opinion on the game. I have to say that they're very enjoyable. But like I said, we'll go into that a little bit later on. Hopefully we'll see a few. We're actually pretty early in the game. Oh, yes. Magic horse is running the wrong direction. There we go. I wish I could say that the auto run mechanic was fixed, but it really isn't. So, I mean, it's fine, whatever. Auto run isn't really a big thing for me, so. One of the things that is nice, though, is as you go through the game, each of your subsequent playthroughs, anything that you unlock with one character does stick around for the rest of them. So if you've had one character that you spent a long time exploring the world with, you're going to keep all that progress when you move over to a different character, as long as they're within the same era. So as you noticed here, my map isn't very fleshed out. And a lot of that is because the only other person who gets to play this era is Liu Bei. And I didn't do a lot of exploring with him either. That's kind of one of the interesting things for these storylines, is that they really only have a few characters that get to experience some of the early stories and some of the late stories in the game. And so it's kind of interesting that they chose to go that way, because by making it fully open world, there's a good deal of the storyline that, you know, you may never experience, because there's no reason to go and mess with the Monjon in the second chapter of Sansei's life, you know, or Sun Jian's life in this case. And of course what you're seeing here is one of the things that people also complained about quite a lot, which is that you spend a lot of time just riding, trying to get from place to place, and it's true. I do think they've done a little better with some of the update stuff to make that a little bit less of a chore, but it's still there. And of course, as you go, you know, your horse will get better and better, and racing from place to place will be a lot easier. But yeah, one of the things that I've learned about Dynasty 9 is that you can't play this like you would play a regular Dynasty Warriors game. So for me, in a regular Dynasty Warriors game, I'm hunting generals, I'm trying to figure out each individual map's story so that I can beat the things that change the tide of battle. That's not really how this works. It's more objective based.
I don't really like defending, but I'll do what needs to be done.
You need to keep an eye.
These beasts came at just the right time. Everybody, follow me! It's time for the hunt!
Sorry. Kamikaze deer there. Just coming running out of nowhere at us. I do have to say this is probably the weakest part of the game, and it's probably the part that I like the least. The hunt mechanics are terrible. And the creature AI is still pretty bad. But they actually did find something to do with the animals, at least. So that's kind of a bonus. I keep forgetting I need to put my weapon away and then crouch. That way we can surprise the deer. Maybe, if the deer doesn't charge directly at us when we go to do what we're doing. But considering, you know, your magic arrows will travel forever, it's not really that important. I don't remember cows being in the game before, so I wonder if that's another one of the additions that they've made. I don't think I can do this, but let's try it. One of the things that is definitely an addition is the tranquilization arrows. The whole point of tranq arrows is that you can now actually capture and tame animals, including deer. Of course, though, I'm not entirely sure how it works. I would suspect that chasing deer to fire at tranq arrows at them is not how it works. And since the deer is not going down with a tranq arrow, we might as well just go ahead and take it out. Yes, we are great hunters. Or terrible hunters, one of the two. More than likely terrible hunters, considering what we're doing here.
This should be more than enough for our needs.
Yes.
All right, I'm calling off the hunt.
A whole pack of wolves and 3 random deer should be plenty. But yeah, when you're facing off against an adversary or an army, in the previous Dynasty Warriors, you would chip away at the army, trying to take out their lieutenants and their lower commanders, and take out gate guards to stop an influx of new soldiers. In Dynasty 9, all you want to do is take out the named guys. So, locking onto them.
Master Sun Jian?
It's nothing. I was just thinking to myself.
I'm a terrible hunter.
Cheng Po, how do you feel about the state of the land today?
That's a rather sudden question.
The Han is in decline and on the verge of collapse. Zhang Jiao appeared and was soon replaced by Dong Zhuo. Even if we remove him too, another will take his place. If that happens, we truly are living in a world of chaos. That begs the question, what is the role of the Sun family in such a world? I want people, as well as my own children, to be able to live in a time of peace. What must we do to make that dream a reality? If we can make that dream a reality, then I wish to protect the land as the blade of the Han. And if we cannot, I wish to fight in order to create a new world myself. Indeed, I may need to prepare for such an eventuality, no matter what. I ask you, Zheng Pu, if it comes to that, can I count on you to remain by my side?
I will be there at the cost of my life if necessary.
Hey, what about us, my lord? We're with you to the very end.
Yeah, what he said. Please don't forget me, my lord.
It's good to see you both. Yes, I will be depending on all of you dearly.
Just not for deer hunting.
Did you hear that, Zhao Yu?
Yes. We are going to create a new world of our own design. We must consider what it means to bring about such change.
A new world. Thought up by Father.
Father?
Yeah, that's what we were saying. I got my gang with me, I like it.
Lord Sun Jian.
Yes. Let's go trample this guy's field. But yeah, you really just need to, as soon as you possibly can, choose to just pile on whoever's a named general and just call it good. There's absolutely no reason at all to try to whittle down an enemy force. When you're taking a base, then yeah, it's great to choose to do base commanders. In fact, actually, that's the only ones that you should bother to try to fight. I really don't want to go all the way around the world. This is another great key. When you get a chance and you're looking at the map, hit the triangle button so you can bring up this confusing mess of nonsense. What it does is it actually shows where the enemy is stationed and kind of their movements, rather than just showing you a blank map. So I initially was going to go just straight across the field, across the country, but if I go this way instead, I can clear out some of the enemy that could become a problem later. Along with that, it'll make a much more interesting video than what I was going to do. Although, you know, props to this gigantic farmland here, which is pretty nice. I do think that as they've updated the game, they've strove to actually put more NPCs in there. Because I feel like in the past, I would have ran through that field and not had anybody there at all. But yeah, so when you're taking a base, you're going to have reinforcement and attack and defense units that are showing up. Yeah, don't even bother with them. Just go for the base commanders, because as soon as you beat them, everybody will drop and leave. Following along the guidelines that they give you, that lead you through these bases, will be ultimately beneficial for you. In the early part of the game, you're not going to see that much, but as you progress, you definitely will. Yeah, you'll see here in a second, as I defeat these guys, yeah, see how those guys' life bars just turned to white and they just pieced out? Yeah. That's like 100% the best way to do this. Now you might also notice here just a second ago, I'm actually being attacked a lot more vigorously by the bow captains. That is definitely something that they've worked on. And it does make taking these bases more tricky, and I'm actually pretty impressed with it, just because the bow captains were pretty much worthless in the past. They would just sit there on their towers and do absolutely nothing. And now they're kind of a legitimate threat that is irritating. So hopefully there'll still be guards all the way around the side here. But yeah, this is also kind of beneficial for if you are trying to make sure that you have particular units in a particular spot. If you actually go down and help clear the way for them, they'll actually get there, which is kind of nice. Instead of them just standing in one location for most of the game. They also fixed another thing that was really irritating to me, and I don't think we'll see it this time. But you guys probably saw the first big castle that I was taking out. When you show up to take care of the big bad general, you can just walk up and grappling hook the wall, climb over while everybody's fighting to try to get in, and kill the commander before anybody can even get inside. They've actually barred it so that now you cannot just go and grab the wall and grappling hook your way in. You do actually need to defend outside and get siege towers up and wait for your catapults to help break down the doors and stuff, which I think was a incredibly smart decision on their part. You may notice I'm just riding past all these bandits. Yeah, if you want, you can get out and you can deal with them, but you know, like the wolves that are just hanging out next to the bandit camp, it's really... they're really not necessary. Oh, and this is actually, like... this will change your enjoyment of the game almost immediately. If you get a golden crown, that's going to be something that you always equip. What it is it just draws any nearby items to you. So whenever you're battling the horde and money comes out, or food items or whatnot, it just automatically zips to you. You're probably already seeing that in my game. I may have talked about it before, but I can't stress enough how much it really just makes the game better. And honestly, it should have been in from the beginning. It should not be an item that you have to equip. Your equipment should always just zap to you. I can't tell you how frustrating it was for me at the beginning trying to run around and pick up everything after I'd won a match, and how often I would just leave stuff because I didn't even want to bother picking it up. So I mean, if you want to go really crazy, yeah, sure, you can go to every single one of these red dots and clear them out. It's really not that beneficial to you. But for instance, if there was a mission where Liu Bo needed to be up here, going down here and helping him win these battles to get there would be very beneficial to you. These are, of course, always really nice, too. The touchstones kind of gives you a chance to see some of this stuff. One of the big things I'm really looking for is these hideaways, and so hopefully there'll be a hideaway near where we're going. It doesn't look like there is, but One of the other great things, and I'm glad that they chose to do this, is that you share your money and your equipment through every character. Which, yeah, is very nice. So, I've spent a little bit of time playing some of these other characters, trying to get a feel for what Dynasty 9 is in a way that I don't have to record. And, yeah, so I've built up a little bit of a stockpile of equipment and items and so on. I'm just glad that it's shared, because I spent a while getting it together, and it'd be a real shame if I had to do that every time I started a new character. The downside for that is that as soon as you start a character, you can immediately go in and get like the best weapon for them at level 1, because you've already earned all the equipment to do so. I'm gonna clear out this area here, and then we'll probably go ahead and call this one for now. We're getting close to our objective. I do feel like you press box, or I'm sorry, not box, press start a lot more. You probably noticed that I also have some different elemental effects going on. That's also stuff I've earned from different characters that now Wu Sun Jian is getting to benefit from. But yeah, I feel like I do a lot more hitting pause and trying to figure out where something is or somebody is than I did in the other Dynasty games. And that may just be me, but... And I mean, I did a certain amount of that. I used to do the battle logs a lot, because I'd always want to take out all the underling lieutenants for important commanders or generals. But I still feel like I do it a lot. There we go. This is not quite as confusing as a Samurai Warlord castle, but it's confusing for Dynasty. But I'm kind of glad that they're doing something with the space here. One of the other things that I would say is a huge disappointment to me is the cities. They're nearly empty, and so I would almost say it wasn't worth bothering to have these cities, considering that there's really only, you know, the handful of shops that you go to. Yeah, see, as soon as you beat these guys, they all just, oh no, and run away. So there's really no point in like chasing those guys down and trying to beat them up, because they're done as soon as you defeat their commanding officer. And there is all kinds of items and stuff that you can find in cities. For the most part, they're nice, I guess, but they're not necessarily all that necessary. Most of the hidden items around cities have so far been pretty lackluster. They seem to... Hey, where'd you guys come from? They seem to be mostly crafting material, which is, yeah, it's hard to be excited about, I guess.
You know how to get someone's attention.
Yeah, we try. I don't think we've taken this city yet still, but we've done enough. Oop, there we go. Riding a horse inside is, it's always tricky business. Yeah, once again, we already know, don't bother fighting the soldiers, just take out the commanding officer, and then they'll just fold. It's really... It's very strange. It's not a way that I would normally like to play, but ever since I've started to realize that that's how this game was designed, it definitely has made my experience better. Because I don't spend a lot of my time battling characters that are just constantly resupplying. And that's the big thing, is like if you...
I hereby claim this area in the name of Wu.
If you continue to fight these generals, they will just keep coming back and keep coming back and keep coming back. And it's very, very, very irritating. The other thing to do is continue to check to see if you have new objectives, because the objectives are pretty much all important in this game. It's not as cut and dry as like Samurai Warlords, where if you don't meet an objective, chances are you're going to lose. But the objectives will make things easier, and typically they're a lot of fun. The one big downside that they have here is since you can kind of just choose to go, hey, I'm just going to kill whoever the lead general is as my first action, you kind of cut down on some of your storytelling, but you also you lose some of the agency to actually do these extra tasks, because why bother doing them when they're completely unnecessary. And the triangle prompt is very important again. There we go, that's the guy that we really want. We don't care about this guy here, we just want the base captain. There you are. Let's get you out of here so we can take this place. One of the problems that I had previously is that there tends to be some captains that are not where they're supposed to be. This is not one of those cases, but I did have that in my early play with Liu Bei, where I would have base captains that were off on the far side of the map from their bases, and so I'd have to go out of my way to go get them. The crafting stuff that they put in the open world is also still kind of laughable. It's everywhere. I pick it up out of just full game muscle memory, basically. So, because it's really not necessary. So far, I haven't really seen a whole lot of reason to do much hunting. If you actually hunt, you get better stuff usually, but you can just as easily walk into a herd of deer and just hit them with your sword and take care of them that way. And yeah, but there's a lot of just individual stuff that's been done better in the siege mechanics when you're actually having to go to a castle and try to take it. One of the big things is that they've created archery units that will they basically put out a circle or an area effect around your hero and will launch volleys of attacks against you, which really makes you have to respect them. Alright, so we're going to talk to him and then probably call it good. If he chooses to talk to us. Downside is loading screen is still an issue, and it still pops up far too often.
It's wonderful to see so many here who care about the future of this land. Without the 10 eunuchs, whose avarice and egotism brought ruin to the Imperial Court, the Han was supposed to illuminate this land once more. But fresh clouds have gathered upon the horizon. Dong Zhuo has taken advantage of the confusion to enter Luoyang and seize control of the Emperor for his own nefarious ends. Dong Zhuo is a poison, slowly killing this land. We must slay him and return the Imperial Court to its rightful place.
With me.
You have all responded to this call for arms from my noble self. We must restore peace to this war-torn land.
Alright, I think we'll go ahead and call this one right about here. Oh, whoops, never mind.
I'm honored to make your acquaintance. My name is Liu Bei. My sworn brothers and I have come to rescue the suffering people, subjected to the tyranny of Dong Zhuo's rule.
Ah, you are with the Volunteer Corps. My name is Sun Jian. It is an honor to meet you.
I've heard many tales of the courage of the Sun clan. Together we must slay Dong Zhuo and return peace to the land.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly.
Liu Bei. Where have I heard that name before?
He is known for his deeds with the Volunteer Corps during the Yellow Turban Rebellion.
Ah, that's it. The fact that you're here once again must mean you're loyal servants of the Han.
No. I'm simply doing what anyone would, to try and help those in trouble. We intend to do what little we can to aid the people in their time of need.
In their time of need, I see that you fight for a noble purpose.
I'm sorry. Have we been introduced?
I am Sun Jian's daughter, Sun Jian. I accompanied my father to this battle.
Is that so? A delicate woman such as yourself?
Personally, I think when it comes to righting the wrongs of this world, it doesn't matter if you're a man or woman. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, forgive my rudeness. You are, of course, correct, my lady.
There's no need to act so humble. Let's go out there and do what we can for the people, Lord Liu Bei.
Brother, it is time for us to be moving. We've got to go and smash that tyrant Dong Zhuo, right?
Yes. Yes, of course, my brother. Ladies and gentlemen of the Sun family, you must excuse me.
It has been a while. Not since that incident in Luoyang, if I'm not mistaken. I must thank you again for the assistance you gave me.
Haha! Think nothing of it. Like I told you, I was simply repaying the debt I owed you from the campaign against the Yellow Turbans. Although, I must ask, why did you try to assassinate Dong Zhuo?
Let's just say I was trying to prepare the world for a better tomorrow. Surely you and your men think the same way? Not in regards to Dong Zhuo, but about a better tomorrow. Forgive me. I suppose this is not the time for such discussions. Please pay my words no heed, brave warriors of Jiandong.
What is it? Do you have something to say to the noble Yuan Shao, leader of the anti-Dong Zhuo coalition?
You came to see me for no reason?
Have you no respect? Return to your position at once and make preparations to defeat Dong Zhuo.
Listen closely. I will be controlling your provisions in this battle. You're always boasting about being the tiger of Jiangdong, yes? Then you'd better work hard enough to make sure I don't regret the cost of feeding you.
Yeah, a lot of exposition.
Brave warriors who have gathered under my banner, we will attack Luoyang and slay Dong Zhuo.
Nifty. Alright, so until next time, this is Antman2050. We're playing Dynasty Warrior 9.
Move.
You shut up. Have fun, play games, be aware. Until next time.